Hi, everybody. I'm going to try something new today. I haven't been flying solo yet. I've always had somebody to talk to, but today I'm going to try to talk just to you. I've been working on a project for a long time, as you all know. And recently I tweeted out a thought that had occurred to me as part of that project, which was that entropy is the price paid for the gift of computational reducibility. And a strange thing happened. Jordan Peterson saw the tweet and he said, explain. Well, so of course I panicked and I tried starting a tweet thread, but I couldn't figure out how to reduce it down. So I missed the first 3 or 4 day window of being able to get the response to him. But in the meantime, I had a really nice conversation with my friend Glenn, the physicist. And we talked through a lot of this stuff, and I came up with a compendium of a brief version of a kind of an explanation, which I put into a tweet thread, which I can show you guys right now. Let's see, the tweet thread is on this screen. And well, of course, I have a hard time finding things. I don't know why this thing is on here. Okay. So here's the tweet thread. I said, I explained. As Jordan Peterson says, we live in a nested world, all the way down, and may I add, all the way up. We benefit from computational reducibility. The brain has a model of the world, and it has to choose which sensory input to sample in order to gather evidence for its own predictions. Now, that's something that Karl Friston has said in many of his presentations. This is computational reducibility at the simplest level. All life, and by analogy, all science, philosophy, every domain of knowledge, seeks to move from A to B and encounters anomaly. The fact that we can choose produces computational irreducibility, which is both the challenge and the glory of life. I can show you a little film clip on that in a minute. All choice is binary and must be made in the now, at the present moment. Good choices decreasing entropy, poor choices increasing it. Life injects unpredictability into the system. Computational reducibility is what makes science possible. It only works on that layer of the system that is predictable, quantifiable. Computational reducibility does not explain the whole, despite the claims of scientism, but it is a necessary component to improving life. It is a gift that has resulted in scientific and technological advances beyond the wildest dreams of our forebears. It cannot, however, account for anomaly. Okay, I'm going to go back up here. Computational reducibility cannot account for anomaly. Anomaly also is a gift that allows life to strive towards the goal of the upward call. That upward call is the same thing as strong emergence's top-down causality. Entropy gain establishes the arrow of time, and that also is a gift. For without it, the tendency would be to roll back down to the starting conditions and try again. But entropy produces a forgetfulness, for there's no longer enough information and too many states to put things back to the way they were. Perhaps entropy is the price that must be paid for the gift of the layer of computational reducibility. In the words of Michael, perhaps entropy is a layer of complexity that is introduced as a further space for a later resolution of the temporal moral distortion that is brought about by our agency. In other words, we mess things up and a price must be paid. There's much more to say about that. In the meanwhile, you can see Nima Arkani Hamed's lecture on the morality of fundamental physics and Stephen Wolfram's theory of everything. also Stephen Wolfram's discussion with Lex Friedman was just excellent, because he got much deeper into some things than he has gotten into even on his own presentations on his own website. So I also want to, I want to show you a little clip from the conversation that I had with Glenn, and it might reveal some of what we were thinking about as we had this talk, but I'm not going to show the whole film, because what I'm really looking for is some other conversation partners who might want to engage on this. I'd like to find somebody who would have the time to engage with me to do a thorough analysis of Stephen Wolfram's conversation with Lex Friedman. It would be best if it's a physicist or a mathematician, probably, so that you could help me understand. I get the basic drift of everything that he's talking about in that conversation, because I've listened to it several times, but I would like someone who could help me walk through it. And I also would like to find somebody who is a some kind of technology person, because there's a wonderful conversation that Caleb Scharf did with Brian Keating on the nature of information. And I would like to have somebody do an analysis with me of that video, kind of along the same lines as the analysis videos that I did with Mark Lefevre over the Jordan Peterson, John Vervaeke conversation. So if there are some people out there that want to get in on the game, we have a lot to talk about, and we can move further on this project. If you have anything to say about the tweet thread that I put together for Jordan Peterson, let me know about that as well. Unfortunately, I don't think that tweet thread ever got to Jordan Peterson, because by the time I got it completed, it took me a while to bring 200 hours of videos into a tweet thread. And by the time I got that done, there was no way to actually get it to him to where he could see it, because the original tweet was long gone. So that's where it's at. I would love to hear from anybody who's interested in getting in on this with me. And I'm going to show you this little clip of Glenn, and then we'll say bye-bye. Let's see.
Into a physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
So computation at its crudest sense, people just think computers, well, that's not anything, but you as a entity taking input, making choices, sometimes you get close, sometimes you're far away, kind of a stochastic, but you gradually home in on what it is you're trying to do. And in the process, you've brought something that was just an idea into physical space. And so that's the question, is art discovered or invented? Is math discovered or invented? If you want to go on the side of music is discovered, then how is the process that we discover it? It's a step by step. If you want to discover a new land, you get in a boat, you cross the sea, you get on a horse, you climb mountains. There's the same thing intellectually going on, step by step, that we move forward. And why? Sometimes intuition, sometimes good guessing. I like to think that it's a combination of pattern recognition and anomaly. We sense there's patterns around us. We can't always put them all together, but then we notice also that that pattern would fit, but except for this little thing over here, and then that draws our attention. And I always think of you when I think that way, because that's how you describe your art.
Mm-hmm.
But something is pulling us forward. And so what makes you do your art is the same thing that caused the first life form to be created. Something is out there pulling us forward. We somehow recognize it. We make choices, we make good guesses, and we gradually take what's an idea and turn it into physical reality. And so somewhere in there, I think that's what Jordan Peterson is looking at. That's why choices are important, because it's the very act of being creative is making choices.
And so Yeah, it just also occurred to me that something else I could use some help with. I don't understand how to make clips on videos, and I would like to make clips of a lot of things that have shown up in my videos. And if there's anybody out there who is good at making clips that would like to help me, just contact me, put something in the reply to this video, and we'll sync up, and maybe we can figure out how to get some clips going, because I have this whole long conversation with Glenn that would be much better if I could just clip out the most important parts and then maybe use them as clips in another video, an explanation video, because I think one of the ways I'm going to have to do this is to clip pieces out of Stephen Wolfram's video, Caleb Scharf's video. I have a wonderful video with Sevilla King and Jonathan Pajot. And then this video I have with Glenn. And if I could put all these pieces together, I could kind of show you my trajectory of thought as to how I got to that original tweet. The tweet again was, entropy is the price that must be paid for the gift of computational reducibility. And if you think of computational reducibility as the thing that has allowed science to operate, that has allowed us to make technological progress, you understand how important it is. But at the same time, it's computational irreducibility that makes our agency possible, or that is the final consequence of our agency. And I think these are important concepts. So let me know what you're thinking in the comment thread, and I look forward to engaging with you. Have a great day.